In Brazil, if you want to buy a coconut, the guy says, "Oh, but you're paying with card, then I need to add 10%." And then the card itself is another 10 to 50% because you pay Forex fees and you have hidden fees as well. How is it possible that I pay almost 25% on this coconut?
GM and welcome to SoulBrothers, Solana's finest podcast. My name is Simon and I'm throwing you into the Solana rabbit hole. I show you around in this exciting ecosystem and I talk to some amazing people that are building on Solana. And today I'm joined by my friends Caesar and Akshat. Welcome to the show. How are you guys doing?
Hello. GM. Hello. We are very good. We're very happy. First time in your podcast. We've heard many good things. We love you guys. We love what you do. And we're very, very happy, very honored, very grateful to be here, to be honest.
That's amazing. Guys, it's also my pleasure to host you because our personal story goes back, way back, because I think both of you are in the group of people that I met when I first joined Solana. So that is by now this is deep Solana lore because it's been a while. Wow. if you guys recall, when was it? Beginning of 2024?
February 2024. So and UA Solana found as well.
Yes. So that was 2 years now, almost exactly 2 years, by the way. There must be some sort of anniversary coming up here for our first meeting. I don't know what day it was, but I do recall.
Right. No, dude, it was actually this weekend. It was actually this weekend.
I remember.
Yeah.
First week.
Yeah, bro. I remember because I was in Finland and I took a flight on the 7th of February. Yeah.
That is insane. Okay, we didn't plan that. That was random.
This is anniversary. Happy anniversary.
So it's the anniversary live stream and recording here. And a lot happened since then. You guys both, and myself included, we all did a lot of twists and turns to be where we are right now. And we're also far from done. We still have a lot of shit to do. But we're doing exciting things, and especially you guys are building exciting things. You're working together now on a new project. It is not that new, actually, because you've been tinkering since a while, but now it is live since more than 50 days, I think. SurfCash is available, and you guys are pretty loudly talking about it on Twitter. I think most of the people that are on crypto Twitter, especially in the Solana chamber, they know about it. You launched it in 2025, I think. It is a team of 3 co-founders, if I'm not mistaken, with you guys, Akshat and Caesar, and then there's Chester as well in the team. And you decided that, hey, payments still kind of suck on Solana. I can't really efficiently, with low fees and straightforward, pay my real life bills with crypto. So let's fix that. And I think that motivated you to work on SurfCash. How accurate is that? Was that the pain point? What pain point did you guys feel when you decided to actually work on this? And when was the first time you decided to talk about SurfCash? Because I remember, Akshat, that I sat down with you in fucking Vietnam in some random office and you pitched me SurfCash, and it was a long time ago. And that was like first phase of the project.
Yeah, that was when we were tinkering. Like, it's all fuck around, find out. So we've been fucking around with SurfCash, like tinkering and trying to iterate over the idea. So it happened with Caesar in May when he went to Vietnam. It was like, it took him like 2 hours to get his cash from MoneyGram. And Caesar can tell more about it. But when I pitched you SurfCash, that time crypto cards were getting started. And there were some big players getting started that time. There were some no KYC cards. And I was in Vietnam, and just to pay my rent, I had to take out like 480 bills. I remember, for my 1 month rent. It was like $500-ish, 1 month rent and security deposit. And it took me 480 bills, 3 ATM trips. I was like, the fuck?
What?
Like, is this real? Like crypto is supposed to be a global money, and this is not even working locally. Like, what's this happening? So we were tinkering around the idea, and then I thought, let's. That's the thing, because these emerging economies, they skipped the crypto cards entirely, and they built their own payment networks. They said, no, we don't want to give fees to Visa and Mastercard for building the networks like 50 years ago. So I don't exactly know how many years ago, so a long time ago, but we will build our own payment networks, and those are almost free. Vietnam has VetQR. So
Okay, so they exist today. For people that are not familiar with this, right? They basically, especially because you guys traveled in these countries as well, you saw that, hey, there's some infrastructure here that we're not familiar with in the West. They for some reason they came up with their own payment apps here, and they are bypassing Visa, Mastercard. And the obvious choice is probably, okay, they might have some better fee structures, right, for the local markets there. And
Yeah.
that
It's
was
I was just
but the link to crypto was still missing. That was probably still the case, right?
yeah, I was at my apartment and I just got crypto card that time and I was like, no, this is useless. That it cannot scan the QR code, that every QR code is linked to a bank account. And the receiver can
Right.
directly receive funds in their bank account. And
Okay, cool.
a crypto card can never do that.
Yeah. And then why did the because other cards existed already back then, especially nowadays, like cards have exploded in the past 12 months. So there's like so many crypto cards on the market now that you can use. And I feel like the usually the user flow is okay with most of these cards that we have available right now. But they all have one thing in common, which is they all use MasterCard Visa, right? Is that something that you feel is problematic, or is that okay? Like, what's your stance on us as crypto industry using the old payment rails that exist already since the beginning of digital payments, I guess? Like, what is your stance on that? Is that the way forward, or do we need something better?
Yeah, I think it's a way to get started, but it's like I wrap my same bank card with a different logo. That's the exact same thing. Right? I have my Visa card from my bank, and I just put my, let's say, SurfCash logo on that. It doesn't make sense because we are still using the same payment rails, and we are still, because with Visa and Mastercard they can still freeze your funds even if your crypto card is self-custodial or no KYC or whatever, but they can still freeze your funds, and you're relying on a bank.
They can at
So
least, can they, I want to challenge that. Can they, do you think they can freeze your funds, or can they just freeze the card? Because I think, let's say I use a non-custodial wallet, which we have on Solana with a card. And I can actually, we have the logo here up top. So if I use the software card and I pay with it from my wallet, I don't think that Visa could freeze my funds on software because they're completely non-custodial. But
yeah.
what you're saying might be true when it comes to the card itself, because here I'm still dependent on Mastercard and Visa, right?
Yeah, and there are some cards which like they offer self-custodial wallet, and then they have some top up or some
Yes,
transfer or
most
some
of
shit
them.
like that
Yeah,
for the card, and those funds are like gone to the card or the bank issuer, so they can freeze that funds. Like
gotcha.
Soulfare is these Soulfare guys are G,
Yeah,
so they know
that's a
how
good setup.
We
how to
like
work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Solfair. We like Solfair.
we love Soulfare.
And like all these crypto banks is like incremental innovation, and what SurfCash is doing is disrupting innovation.
Oh, yeah.
Like we are completely different. Like we are not just pushing the same old infrastructure of Visa and Mastercard. We created a new infrastructure, which is the blockchain. Like we are
So
literally blockchain native. Yeah.
let's walk through that. Like for people that are not familiar yet with SurfCash or just seen the logo on Twitter and seen some of your nice media, we're gonna see the video that you posted earlier today as well. When you wrap up the stream, I have it in my outro as a video. So you post these things, but there's still a lot of people that might not know 100%. Okay, how does SurfCash really work? So walk me through a use case. Let's say I'm a user and I live in a country where SurfCash is implemented. We can give an example maybe as well. What do I do?
Sure. So I will give you a very good contrast. We also posted tweet about Vietnam and Brazil that, for example, you are in Vietnam and
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite countries. You land in Vietnam and you go to a local food market or any local restaurant, and you eat you eat food, and then they say, oh, now you have to pay, but we only accept QR codes or cash. But you're maybe from the US or wherever, even in the UAE, cards work everywhere. So I said, oh, you say like, oh, I only have this card. So your card is literally useless there. And okay, you got cash from an ATM, you got it sorted. You live in Vietnam for a month like this, then you start loving it because it's a lovely country, and then you decide to move there. So now you are going to pay rent to your landlord, and they will ask you for a bank transfer, which you cannot do with a card. So you go out to ATM like 3 or 4 times, and you take like 200, 300 bills of cash just to pay rent and deposit. Plus, when you do this, you lose a lot of fees because there are
Mm.
some around 70% of the merchants in Vietnam, they do not accept any sort of payment card. So, and the rest 30%, most of them add some surcharge because when they rent the POS machine is the card machine. So
Beep beep. Yeah.
pass the charges to the customers. So, and then there's forex on top of it, plus your card fees, plus transaction fees. So it becomes like 10 to 15%.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
and for example, in Brazil, if you are like I'm actually doing the GTM in Brazil. In Brazil, if you want to buy a coconut in Copacabana Beach or in Panama Beach in Rio de Janeiro, you are paying over 20% on top of the price. So the guy says, "Oh, but you're paying with card, then I need to add
Mm.
10%." And then
Mm.
the
They
card
use it.
itself is another
Yeah.
10 to 50% because you pay forex fees, you pay the
Mm.
visa fees, you pay the we know all the names of these things fees, and you have hidden fees as well, you know? So now it's like, how is it possible that I pay over almost 25% on this coconut? It doesn't make
Mm.
sense. So we are basically skipping all of that by going directly into the national payment rails because these
Mm.
people actually, I think it started in Sweden. In
Mm-hmm.
Sweden, all the banks agree, guys, let's stop giving our money to Visa and Mastercard, and they developed something 25 years ago. It's called Swish. So all the banks agree on having a unified QR code, and right
So
now all
smart.
these emerging economies, they are doing it. Colombia is doing it, like many countries are doing it, and we are tapping into that local payment rails, which has near zero fees when you pay
Mm-hmm.
for stuff. So
So
Yeah.
let me get that straight. I still need to clarify this more for people that are not living in these countries because we just don't know. Like we never saw that in person. There's probably a lot of people that are not familiar with how it works, but basically you just see a QR code at the register, right? When you check out, when you buy your coffee or when
yeah,
you take your things to the store, there's a QR code, and then you scan the QR code, and
you
then
pay.
you can pay with your bank account. Like that's how it works there, or you have some app
No.
from these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a bank account. Like all bank accounts, they have access to that QR code. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So for
So I
example,
can use the
in
app.
Brazil, it's Pix,
Mm,
right?
okay.
So every bank, every single bank, Santander Bank, Nubank,
Yep.
Bear Bank, like all the banks, they have the same QR code. Yeah. So
Hmm.
they have the
Yeah.
same Pix key. They have the same key. You know.
Yeah.
So it's just a unified key, payment key per user, also per
Mm.
merchant. So they
Mm.
already have it. So we allow people to feel
Okay.
wherever they go. Yeah. It's
And
like you have
now,
your yeah.
and now SurfCash. When it comes to SurfCash, you basically use that existing infrastructure of the local market and build
Exactly.
SurfCash on top of it, and then
Let
put
me
it on
show you a
crypto rails.
quick
Yeah.
demo that we don't need to onboard merchants at all. So here's David, one of my friends, and he was in Vietnam. And this merchant, they don't even know what
Uh,
the heck is crypto or what is USDC. And they go to SurfCash
uh-huh.
and scan the QR code. So when they scan this QR code, it parses, and here's the name of the merchant and the bank account.
Yep. Yep.
And then you can just mention the amount, and it goes straight to merchant's bank account.
Gotcha. That is okay. Yeah, that is very straightforward. So, okay, cool. So Caesar, you said you're disrupting, right? You're disrupting the payment space with bringing crypto in here. Can you elaborate on that? Like, why are you disrupting, and what are the others not doing that you guys
Yeah.
are
So
doing? And
the other
I
ones
think then
are
we
just
have it all.
yeah, the other ones are just carrying the same old infrastructure that we had. I don't know. I actually said like many decades ago, Visa and
Yeah.
Mastercard built these payment rails because everyone needed to spend money globally. So how you
Yeah.
do that with global payment rails? But then the blockchain appeared, right? Ethereum appeared, Bitcoin appeared, Solana appeared, and now we have a new infrastructure that the global payment system didn't catch up yet.
Hmm.
But Surface is building fundamentally on the blockchain. So we
Yeah.
are natively from the blockchain. And also, when you use those banks, you are not benefiting from it. Like you are just literally giving their fees, and you don't benefit from Visa unless you buy their stock in the New York stock.
Yeah.
But you don't get revenue sharing, you don't get any voting rights, you get nothing. It's like, and they tell you they give you some cashbacks and stuff, but it's just so unfair compared to how much money they make. So we decided to build the most useful bank and a bank for the people, in which literally we have revenue sharing. So 30% of the revenue that SurfCash makes goes every week to the people that stake the token. So that's
Okay,
one
cool.
big thing.
And
Okay.
just like add one thing, that this was decided by the people themselves. You
Yeah.
cannot decide. Visa doesn't let you decide like what they want to do.
Yeah, exactly. So the token give you ownership. This futarchy model is ownership over the treasury and over the IP of the company, and you have voting rights. You can make proposals, and pretty much you can join the north
Okay.
and decide on the direction of the
Let's
company.
let's take a step back here because now we're talking token. So for SurfCash product, clear. I think we got it figured out. Basically, you're building a payment system that is not using traditional old school rails. You're building in with the new payment networks that are established in certain countries. That obviously limits you as well to certain countries, I suppose, right? I haven't asked that question yet, but I think it's pretty straightforward. You can't expand to every single country right now because you are dependent on the local infrastructure have some sort of network, which is most
Yeah,
Asian countries have it. Most emerging markets actually have it, I think, right?
exactly,
Exactly. Yep.
exactly.
Yep. Yep.
Our
Gotcha. Cool.
target population are nomads. Why? Because everyone is traveling these days. Like you took away 1 year of traveling or 2 years of traveling during COVID, and right now everyone wants to travel. Everyone is going places. So we have a lot of crypto nomads. We have a lot of travelers that use crypto. We have a lot of local crypto earners. We have a big gamers community in all emerging economies that earn in crypto. And we also
Yeah.
have the remittance market, which is a byproduct of everything that we are doing. In the Philippines, you have like $40 billion a year that the country receives. So imagine these people are paying up to 20% on those $40 billion. It's a lot of
Yeah.
money that
Plus
these companies are
they use
making.
MoneyGram or some of
Yeah,
these. Yeah.
exactly. Or all of these Western Union and all these crypto cards. It's just unfair. It's just unfair. There is a better system that benefits everyone. So why we just don't use it? You know. So
Yeah.
that's what we call it disruptive innovation. It's like something completely new, new possibilities on what you use, get revenue sharing, vote on proposals, get the lowest fees ever. And I was mentioning we have a 2030 agenda with 50 innovations that we map out about what we want to implement in SurfCash and when. And
That's
we
cool.
have a very ambitious roadmap, and
Cool.
and that's why we call it, because we have like a free highway of creativity, because it's our bank. So we have a lot of good things, and we know
Yeah.
what people need when they travel. Like we are
Yeah.
travelers in
Exactly.
60 countries, so we
Yep.
know we know
You know the
you know
pains.
so,
Yeah. Which countries are the countries I can use SurfCash in right now?
So right now you have. So we started with Vietnam, and we were
Yep.
planning for Vietnam and Philippines by January, but we have three countries now: Vietnam as VietQR, Philippines QRPH, and Brazil's PIX. And PIX is the biggest payment network in the whole of Southern Hemisphere. Like they moved like $5 trillion last year with that payment network. So everyone uses PIX in Brazil.
Never heard of them.
no one
Literally
uses
never heard
cards.
of them.
No one uses
Yeah, no
cards.
one uses cards anymore.
That's
Like
so
99
crazy.
99% of the people use
Really?
Pix.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's why we say that we are, instead of building global, like integrating one API and issuing our
Yeah.
card, and just like it's like solving a problem in Vietnam while sitting in San Francisco, which doesn't make sense. So that's why Caesar is gonna be in Brazil. Caesar has lived in Brazil for a long time, and we know what people actually use,
Yeah.
and that's why we are building around that. Because no one knows Pix outside Brazil, but everyone, it's the biggest payment network.
Yeah, yeah.
That is interesting. I personally didn't know that. But for example, here in Europe, I'm right now in Europe.
Okay.
I cannot use SurfCash anywhere. Where would you expand in Europe to? Do you have any country that you're looking at that would be feasible?
Yeah, I'm gonna be. Yeah, I was there for former Georgia, and yeah, you were also there as well. So
Yeah.
I love Georgia, and I checked around their payment methods as well. They have a QR system. So I think that's gonna
Okay.
be
It's gonna be
our
the first
first
Cool.
one.
European country,
Yeah.
and I will be there in Georgia for a
Ideally,
long time.
ideally, we can also do the Nordics. So all the Nordics, Norway, Finland,
Yeah. Yeah.
Denmark, Iceland,
Okay. Yeah.
Sweden.
Cool.
They all use QR codes. All of them,
Okay.
because
I
they
didn't
know,
know that.
they are not. They're very smart. They know they. Why?
Mm.
Why should you give your money away? If you work so hard for your money, no, dude, you need to respect money. This is fundamental rule. You need to respect money. So yeah, that's very easy. So everywhere in the world where there is a unified QR code, SurfCash is going to go there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just
Okay.
one thing to add, that we didn't forget our global audience or global users. So for them, right now we have around 10 to 15% APY with Perena,
Yeah.
and next we are gonna add, like, you can pay your credit card bills directly with USDC. So that will be global, and then remittances, that will also be global.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you can use it.
Say that again. So I can use my SurfCash account with USDC to pay my bank bills, like
Yeah, bank
like
credit
bills that are normally paid. Okay, so you can facilitate bank payments with SurfCash, basically.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Cool.
in total, you are increasing your wealth every year by 30% just by switching to SurfCash as your payment solution. You save up to
That's a good
20% on
line.
fees and you make up to 15% on APY. It's a lot of money, we're increasing wealth. And also another thing with our 2030 agenda is that we just don't want to focus on metrics like volume, number of users, but we're literally changing people's life. We are changing the culture the same way that MasterCard was like, okay, this sunset is priceless, but for everything else, you can use MasterCard. So SurfCash is also building on what you use, respect your money, and we are the bank of the people. Like we are like the if JP Morgan will have started a neobank today, it will look like SurfCash, the most efficient, the most useful, very global, and focusing on literally delivering value, like respecting people's money, growing people's money, because there is a lot of challenges, right, in the world right now. Everything is becoming more expensive, everything's becoming more uncertain. So one way of bringing peace to the people is by having saving and like increasing their wealth 30% a year. So we will see big impact in the lives, and we will study this. Like we will do proper research, we will do proper studies about, okay, what happens with the fertility rate, what happens with the happiness rate, what happens with the mental health problems of the population where SurfCash goes, because we believe that the true promise of crypto hasn't been fulfilled so far, which is financial freedom. Because you have to pay all of these fees, you have frozen accounts, you have all this fear, but that's the goal of SurfCash. Let's fulfill the financial freedom promise of crypto. Let's make money move seamless across the globe. And let's just use the latest technology that we have.
Makes sense to me, and I think the vision that or the looking so far ahead as well, like with the 2030 agenda and so on, is actually a cool thing. It is ambitious, obviously. Things are changing so fast, but at least you guys set some bigger goals and some bigger aspirations for you, which is, I think, very important as a North Star for a company. So it makes a lot of sense. Last question to the product. I suppose then, what happens if I transfer money to my SurfCash account? Am I still holding it? Like, is it non-custodial, or is the setup in a way that you guys are becoming the custodian of the funds that are being transferred? Kind of a silly question, but
we cannot touch your funds. It's only you, and the keys are stored in your device. Plus, now we use Squad. Do you know Fuse?
yeah,
Yeah, the
wallet.
really beautiful app. It's built by Grid. So, and we use the same technology. We use Grid, Squad's Grid SDK, and it's like in your multi-sig, and both of the keys are owned by you. So only you can touch your funds.
That makes sense. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now you mentioned token, and we didn't talk yet about it in detail. So let's have a quick conversation about token as well. So Surf is the ticker, if I'm not mistaken. You launched this not too long ago, I think. It was in December 2025?
11 December 2025.
Here we go. And you raised $750K in a pre-sale. It was 190% oversubscribed, and you accepted $450,000. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's true.
Very good. So congrats to the raise. That's great. Even in the market right now, it's not easy to attract capital. So that speaks for you guys that you are able to raise some cash here in this market. Is good. The valuation was also, I think, pretty decent back then. It's kind of a low FTV project since you guys are also early. It makes a lot of sense. And you also launched together with a partner and you launched via Startup Fund, right? So why did you decide to go with Startup Fund? Maybe just a quick question for people that are right now looking at all the tokens and all the different options we have on the market. There's sort of new premises we're having for launching tokens. I think in 2026, this is my thesis, we're going to see, obviously, when the market recovers a little bit, we're going to see a lot of interesting new token launches as well that are facilitated with launchpads that have better systems to disperse rights to holders, because right now everything is a meme coin. But with these new setups, including Startup Fund, there comes a little bit more decision making to the token holders. And that's not only to give governance, but also to give kind of holder rights about decisions upon the money, the treasury, and the IP. So that's kind of the TLDR when it comes to Startup Fund and so on. So why did you choose to go that way, to go that path?
Yeah.
Okay, so we saw a disconnection between tokens and business models, and up until very recently, where MetaDAO and FutureKey stories started like gaining traction, and we
Yeah.
decided that from the beginning we wanted to become the people's bank, you know. So for that reason, we partnered with Startup Fund, which has like a, imagine it's like a MetaDAO but Shark Tank version, where you go live stream for 3 days and you pitch in front of like 4 or 6 investors.
Mm-hmm.
He asks you questions. You have to pitch for 5 minutes. You know, like it's a very very uh, emotional experience. Like it's crazy. Like the pressure is insane because you have a
Mm.
minimum target. If you don't hit the minimum target, you need to give back 100% of the money, you know, and you are seeing, oh my God, da 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 da. And then also it's very entertaining, you know. For the founder,
Mm.
is suffering,
Yeah.
but for the public, it's very entertaining. So we totally like the show. So when you launch with Startup Fund, you launch your project through a future key model, and the
Mm-hmm.
token gives you, as you said, ownership over the treasury and over the IP of the company. And also that means that since it's a future key, anyone can propose what happens with the company, with the organization.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
right now we have rolled out a few proposals, like 5 of them, in which we decided, okay, we are going to put all the money of the treasury with this APY in this protocol. We are going to do 30% revenue sharing. We are going to do a few functionalities, you know. So it allows people to tag along the journey of the project,
Cool.
and the token also is kind of like a thing that allows the founder to focus on GTM, you know, because before that, teams needed to focus on the token and on the growth of the business, you know, because people were like, you know, like you need
Mm.
to do on those two. But with this new meta, we can focus on the actual growth of the business because we expect the value to go to the token eventually as you get the revenue in the company, because since we have the revenue sharing, the ownership, and all of this type of stuff. So
Mm.
it's a new innovative way of growing, you know.
Yeah.
And we honestly enjoy, like, the community has been very supportive with us. Like they have been literally teaching us stuff, covering our blind spots, because there are things you don't know all the time, and people are
Mm.
super kind, like the investors and stuff. Like we have had like mentors, but not just mentors that talk, but also mentors that help us execute, you know. Like when you
Mm.
run a new bank, you have a lot of compliance challenges. So
Mm.
we've been very lucky to have like a very solid community from the beginning, you know.
Cool.
And yeah, that gives you like a nice energy to build.
Was there anything that you guys did in particular early on that helped you to find the right people for your venture, basically? Because like getting people excited about a product these days or a project is difficult because you compete with the whole attention economy, right? Like, so
Yeah,
it's difficult to find these people that are early there and show up and like
yeah.
your posts and comment
To be
and be there for
honest,
you.
to be honest, our growth has been 100% organic. We haven't
Mm.
paid anyone for anything. Like we just build a good product that solves real people problems. You know, like what do you prefer to use? These cards that we know the names, of something that charges you under 1% fees every time you swipe, every time you pay. So it's
Mm.
just like a no-brainer. Like why are you gonna go give your money to other people? So I think the growth has been super organic. Like we have over 3,000 people right now in Vietnam using SurfCash pretty much every day, every week, and
Mm.
we have a very very nice GTM strategy right now in the Philippines and for Brazil, and it just happens organically, to be honest. Like the
Cool.
attention came organically. Like I'll tell you something, like we make sure to drop videos. Like this is the second video that we drop after
Mm-hmm.
the first video that when we announced the race with Startup Fund. And we
Mm-hmm.
believe of the video content creation to making sure that you have a video that has one clear message, that solves one clear problem for the people, and to
Mm.
put a lot of effort on the script, to make a lot of effort with the visuals. So we give a lot of credit to the video, to be honest, um, and to make sure that people understand the message. But everything has happened organically. We went viral, like we literally went viral a few times already, and
Mm-hmm.
that's brought us a lot of users and a lot of attention. And as you
Mm.
said, like people in the Solana community, like we are talking with all the big ones. They know about SurfCash, they know about what we are doing,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I mean,
So
you have to also, like, a little caveat here is that you both are, like we also said in the intro, you have a history on Solana, probably longer than myself. Like, I don't think that the Founders Villa 2024 was the first Solana event for the two of you. Like for me, I think
yeah,
I think you've been there already when I came.
yeah,
So you've been around, you know a lot of people, you have the ecosystem. So I think that might be also a piece of advice that you can give to any aspiring founder or anyone that's building anything when it comes to Solana. It does help to stick around, I suppose, and build your
Yeah.
network.
Yep. I will tell my story that I started into the Solana ecosystem just before the FTX crash.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got in after and within like 20 days, the price was $8.
Mm-hmm.
And there was all negative sentiment all around the Twitter. People were saying Solana is a scam and things like that. But I sticked because of Super Team and that sense of community that got me sticked. And 2022 was the first event I attended. It was a hacker house. Solana hacker
Mm-hmm.
house used to be there. So that's when I got intro to Solana. And yeah, regardless of the market, I was building. It's all about showing up. I went to a lot of Solana events, connected with people like you, Caesar, and everyone. So it's all about showing up. You just need to keep showing up, and we've been iterating on SurfCash since like 2025. Uh, I think
2024,
2024. Yeah,
2024,
late
yeah,
24. I pitched you in 24, Simon, in Vietnam.
Yep.
So
Yep. Damn.
iterate,
Yeah.
and iterate over everything. It's the thing is fuck around, find out, and showing up. We
yeah,
iterate, and we hit the point, and yeah, that thing worked. So same we do for GTM. We
yeah.
and
I
one thing will
think
click, and
Yeah,
boom.
I think for
Mm.
founders, the goal is, imagine you are in the middle of the ocean and you are holding yourself to a wood, to a piece of wood, and you just need to make sure you see the light of the sun the next day, that you don't die. Just don't die. Show up every day and wait for your wave. Your wave will come if you show up every day. And of course, you need to increase your surface area for opportunities. So the more you join to events, the more you spend time on Twitter, the more you go to cafes, to crypto pop-ups, like cafes, crypto pop-ups, the more you
Yep.
understand how the financial system works, the more you increase the surface area for good things to happen to you. So I
Mm.
think we've been lucky and blessed to be given the opportunity to build what we want to become, like the next JP Morgan of our generation. But that luck just increases with your surface area of possibilities, right? So just show up every day. Like it's a work, right? It's a job,
Mm.
and sometimes you don't have money, sometimes you have money, but you still need to show up independently.
Yep. Yep.
And the whole thing is like when you are a builder, I know you understand this. It's all about purpose. Like money and cash flow only gets you so far, but you need to have purpose. So
Mm.
since we met with SurfCash, we knew that we wanted to come to payments. Like
Mm.
it's like we want to become experts in payments. Like
Mm-hmm.
how money moves. why it moves the way it moves. Like how can we make it better? How can we create something that can be very, very scalable? So we study all the patterns, we check all the solutions out there, what they were missing, and the answers sometimes become obvious. Like they
Mm.
become obvious. How is it possible that you cannot do this? So then your solution is just becoming the bridge between the current situation and the dreamy situation. And right now we did that with the local QR codes. But Solana, without any doubt, has been just an innovation lab,
Mm.
uh, and yeah, we are releasing a few nice experiments.
That's
Yeah,
amazing. There's a lot of really good pieces of advice were in that little monologue right there. So for everyone who's listening, you might want to rewind here. If you're on a live stream, obviously wait for the YouTube to come out. But I love the whole thing about luck, right? Like people always, it's so easy to point at people that are successful and say they have been lucky, right? It is inherently true. They are lucky, but it
yeah,
wasn't luck that found them, right? Like it was them that found the luck. So you have to go out there, right? If you sit in a dark room and stare at a wall for 1 year, nothing's gonna happen to it. You can be as lucky as ever. It's not gonna find you in that fucking room. But if you go out there and you do shit, and you don't need to physically go out there, right? You can literally sit in that room but on your laptop. Nowadays it's easier than ever to create surface area to attract luck. Just do it in the internet, just do it digitally. Like it can find you. You can do so much with that thing, right? So I think that's a really good piece of advice. And I also think that one of the best qualities of any founder, especially in our early stage kind of sphere, is resilience, really, right? And kind of relentless execution. And that's what I'm looking for in founders, right? And I think you both are a good example for that, because we only talked about SurfCash today, but I know for a fact that you guys have your hands in a few different pots, or you did already a lot of experiments in the past, and you just kept doing them. You never, over years. So that's what I mean with resilience. And I think the only way you can persist that is some sort of purpose, and that is a very vague thing. We cannot help you guys to find that purpose. You have to figure it out yourself. It can be a lot of different things, right? It can be your girlfriend, it can be your family, it can be money, it can be freedom, it can be pay back the people that told you were a dickhead when you were young. Like it can be anything. Like your purpose can be very difficult to find, but once you got it, it's going to help you tremendously to push forward. Anyway, lots of yapping, coming to an end. Looking forward into the next couple of weeks and months of SurfCash. Is there anything you guys want to share that you want to highlight when it comes to the roadmap, to the next steps? Anything exciting you guys are tinkering on right now that you feel like dropping here? And is there any call to action as well that you want to leave the people with
Sure.
for today?
So we are launching in 12 countries in this Q1 itself, and that's gonna
Nice.
be, and plus we'll also have the remittances thing. I just don't want to promise any deadline on that, but
yeah.
yeah, it's like country by country because it's a separate payment network. So we study payment network, we tap into it, and then we get users. We, instead of just spray and pray, that's how we work. So in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna have a lot of users. We already have 3 markets, so which is way more than our initially planned. So we need to get users in each market. It's not like just create the network and just, yeah,
We have
keep adding more.
we have two fronts. The first one is becoming a very useful bank. So everything that a bank is supposed to do, we are gonna do it 100 million times better. Borrowing, lending, spending, investing, everything.
Nice.
Because the technology is out there, right? The technology is
Mm.
here.
We got it all. On Solana we
A
have.
bunch of technology with mixed with purpose and creativity, we can build very, very nice stuff, which we already have mapped out, and we are working on some of them. But the other edge of SurfCash is the travelers. So crypto nomads, travelers that use crypto, local crypto earners that are connected to the world, like gamers, for example. Very big community in emerging economies. Like they move a lot of volume of money, and also, as Akshat said, the byproduct, which is remittances. So
Mm.
everything that these people need, we are also going to work on that. So, for example, we are talking about eSIMs, we are talking about reservations for hotels, we are talking about insurance, we are talking about concierge services, we are talking about a bunch of things that we can offer to the community, to the users of SurfCash, to make their life better, to keep them saving even more money. Like right now, roughly, as we mentioned, Simon, we said 30% wealth increase a year. Why not 50% wealth increase a year just by saving on money and making money on other stuff, you know? So we just want to make people, as I said, we're focusing on impact, right? So we want to make people more happy, less stressed, you know, like more confident about the future. They need to know that this old system, old renters, they are not going to win. You know, it's our generation that needs to work hard for the future generations, and you gotta do the change that you want to see, and you don't need to ask anyone for permission to do this stuff. You know, we didn't ask anyone for permission to build a bank. You know, the world is free. We live in a free world. You know, like we can build its internet capital markets. You know, like innovation is out there if you want to do it. So you just gotta do something useful, you know. You just need to tap into something useful for the people that can change and improve people's lives. So I think that's our two fronts, like becoming a nice bank and becoming something useful for the population, you know. And then, as I said, we have the 2030 agenda with 50 innovations already mapped out, and we're gonna start rolling them out every Q. Every Q, big innovations is gonna happen. But yeah, that's on that regard, and very excited, to be honest. Very excited.
I love that. So, guys, if you don't know about SurfCash yet, and maybe you're on our YouTube, or maybe you are on the live stream, make sure to follow them. SurfCash X is the account on X, SurfCash X. You can find them easy peasy, via the handle. Leave them a follow. And yeah, we're going to wrap it up, guys. Akshat, Caesar, you got another piece, another nugget of detail you want to drop?
Yeah, this is very important. You can check the chat.
Yep. Cool. Is it already active? Like, we do have a code that people can use? Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so if you sign up to SurfCash, then I just got the notice, then you have to use the referral code SoulBrothers when you sign up. So just type in SoulBrothers during your sign up process when you set up your SurfCash app. So appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. That wasn't planned. So yeah, thank you for watching as well. And thank you for coming on. Caesar, Akshat, it was my pleasure to host you. And best of luck building and keep shipping.
Yeah, cool. Thank you so much, Simon. So much, talk soon, dude.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone. See you. Thanks for watching.
Across emerging economies, people skipped bank cards. They built their own ways to pay. QR codes, local rails, systems that fit real life. Because of card networks like Visa and Mastercard, you and the merchant are forced to hand over a significant amount of money every time you pay. That never made sense to us. So we built SurfCash. Spend your crypto with simple QR payments, just like cash. Without cards or middlemen, more of your money stays with you. You stay in control with a self-custodial wallet and earn up to 15% yield. Because if you're using the system, you should be the one benefiting from it. Launching across 12 countries for people who earn in crypto and live in the real world. A bank that is truly useful and respects your money. A system that is built for everyone. SurfCash. Get the app and start paying with it.